Hello everyone. I'm Ritika Malakar, lecturer, PN Das College, Polta, North 24 Parganas. I have prepared this module for the students of Department of English, West Bengal State University. This e-module is made on a poem written by Nissim Ezekiel. The name of the poem is Night of a Scorpion. The poem is about the night when a woman, the mother of the narrator, in a poor Indian village, is stung by a scorpion. Her concerned neighbor come to offer advice and help. The neighbors, her husband, and the local holy man try different measures to cure her. Time proves to be the best healer. At the end of the poem, we find after 20 hours it lost its sting. At the end of the poem, we find another very important thing, that a concerned Indian mother who is thankful to the god because the scorpion stung her, not the children. The poem has different layers of dramatic tensions which depict the scenario of Indian society with special reference to a singular incident that happened in a house. The dramatic tensions go like this. The attempt of the peasants to help the mother's pain, the attempts of the peasants to kill the scorpion, the superstitious beliefs of the villagers, the reaction of the rational father, the religious undertone, and overall, good versus evil. The poem starts like this. I remember the night my mother was stung by a scorpion. 10 hours of steady rain had driven him to crawl beneath a sack of rice. Parting with his poison, flash of diabolic tail in the dark room, he risked the rain again. The poem is written in the first person narrative. The poet is going back to his memory when he was a child. The speaker narrates an episode about a night when his mother was stung by a scorpion. I want to focus on two important phrases, that is, sack of rice and the dark room, that remind us of the poverty stricken Indian family. Next few lines go like this. The peasants came like swarms of flies and buzzed the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one. The scorpion is seen by some as the evil force, bringer of pain and the hardship and even death. Here we find two figures of speech. The poet very beautifully used it. An example of simile is found where the poet compares the peasants with the swarms of flies, but the statement is quite ironic here, where the peasants are only panicking about the situation. The another figures of speech what we find is onomatopoeia, which is found in the word buzzing. Next few lines. With candles and with lanterns, throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud-baked walls, they searched for him. He was not found. They clicked their tongues. With every movement that the scorpion made, his poison moved in mother's blood, they said. Here we again find the poverty of the family, where the poet uses the phrase like mud baked wall and the use of the lantern by the peasants. Being very superstitious, the peasants look for the scorpion on their hands and knees with lanterns. Their wish is to find the scorpion quickly because they believe that every movement of the scorpion makes without getting killed affects the speaker's mother. The poet says, with every movement that the scorpion made, the poison moved in mother's blood. They said, they refers to the peasants. The next slide goes like the superstitious beliefs of the villagers and the religious undertone. Here we can find the villagers' religious view, their belief on the religion, as well as they are very superstitious. They talk about the previous birth and the next birth, which refer to the woman's reincarnation. The villagers believe that she will die. It shows us that they are extremely religious. The repetition of the word may that makes the poem, and it may sound like they're praying to God that the woman will get a better life after this death. The pain is seen as the way of cleansing the soul before the next life. The lines goes like this: against the sum of good become diminished by your pain. May the poison purify your flesh of desire and your spirit of ambition, they said. And they sat around on the floor with my mother in the center, the peace of understanding on each face. This show that the people in the poem are highly religious and they believe that there is reincarnation. They try to console the woman with their religious faith. Though the last line is extremely ironic, as the villagers have not been understanding, or they are not being peaceful. Actually, they are panic ridden. More candles, more lanterns, more neighbors, more insects, and the endless rain. My mother twisted through and through, groaning on a mat. My father, skeptic, rationalist, trying every curse and blessing, powder, mixture, herb, and hybrid. He even poured a little paraffin upon the beaten toe and put a match to it. Another figure of speech is found here. Anaphora is used in the first line of the given lines. Anaphora is the repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of successive clauses. Here, the word is more, that is used repeatedly. The narrator depicts the condition of the suffering of the mother, and he is describing it from his memory, and which is described in detail. We can also find the rationalistic approach of the father, who is not only rational but also realistic. He tries all sorts of remedies like powder, mixtures, herbs, hybrid to cure his wife. This shows his desperation. He even tries putting paraffin on the sting. I watched the flame feeding on my mother. I watched the holy man perform his rites to tame the poison with an incantation. The religious and superstitious beliefs are reinforced in these lines. The people do not call a doctor for the woman, but they call a holy man. They believe the holy man that the man can cure her. After 20 hours, it lost its sting. My mother only said, "Thank God, the scorpion picked on me and spared my children." We can find a very typical affectionate nature of a mother. The mother is only concerned about her children. She thanks God that the scorpion picked her and not her children. The phrase "only said" shows that the mother was not thinking about herself but only concerned about her children. That is very, very typical of an affectionate mother. This is how we end up this module. Thank you for listening.